I'm Sarah Fergani with KINS 5 News Now. A woman is murdered, then her husband gets into a shootout with officers on the city's northwest side. This according to San Antonio police. They say it started with a welfare check Tuesday morning off Southwest Loop 410. Officers found a 33-year-old woman shot dead inside the home. They believed her husband killed her and took her rental car. Police say that car was being monitored by OnStar, so investigators were able to track him down. They found him at a Northwest Side strip center on Vance Jackson and I-10 around 10 last night.
He was inside a sandwich store when we got here, and we waited for him to come out. 4 officers waited for him to come out. He entered his vehicle, and officers approached him to arrest him, and he immediately opened fire on the officers. Officers returned fire.
Police Chief William McManus says the 33-year-old husband died in the shootout with officers. They have not identified the man or the 4 officers involved. A San Antonio car owner is rushed to the hospital with his throat slit after he tries to stop a thief from breaking into his car. Police say that man was at his home on Wyoming Street on the east side. He heard a noise and walked outside to see what was happening. Police say he found a man messing with his car. When he confronted him, the thief pulled out a knife and cut his throat. He got away on a bicycle. Police say they stopped several people riding bikes, but none matched the attacker's description. A Southeast Side neighbor talks about the scary moments when a pregnant woman was stabbed in the back and he jumped in to stop it. Roberto Nieves heard the woman screaming for help at the trailer park off Highway 87 on Tuesday. Police say a neighbor was stabbing the pregnant woman with a kitchen knife. Nieves says he grabbed a baseball bat and yelled at the man to stop, but then the man turned on him and he too was nearly stabbed.
They tried to stop me and then pulled back and swing with the baseball bat, and he started running this way.
Nieves saw him get into his car and drive off. Police say he was later arrested when the suspect's mom turned him in. The woman was taken to the hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. Homeowners who say they've been fighting a silent, years-long battle against a noisy bar are getting relief and an apology from the bar. The city of San Antonio issued a cease and desist letter to Bentleys Bar near Loop 410 on the northeast side. The city's DART team found several code violations at the establishment. Nearby homeowners like Gina Eisenberg says the sound got worse during the pandemic when the owner of Bentleys turned part of his parking lot into a patio and an outdoor bar.
Years, when the sun goes down, the neighbors who live in this part of Oak Park Northwood, we're used to hearing boom, 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 and bass.
The city will need to approve several changes before the bar can reopen. A spokesperson for Bentleys said in a statement, quote, they have hired an architect to help with sound mitigation. New recommendations for breast cancer screenings lower the age to 40 instead of 50. The Preventative Services Task Force proposal also calls for regular screenings to continue through age 74. They're more consistent with the American Cancer Society, but the organization says the new guidelines should also include women over the age of 74.
In our judgment, it is with shame if women get the message that mammography has uncertain benefits or is no longer needed at a time when the incidence is very high and the death rate continues to climb.
The task force's recommendations influence insurance coverage and doctors scheduling screenings for patients. A new push on the federal level to ease restrictions on marijuana and reclassify it as a less dangerous drug. Right now, marijuana is classified as a Schedule I drug, just like heroin and LSD. But the Drug Enforcement Administration wants to change it to a Schedule III drug like Tylenol containing codeine. It would also recognize the medical uses of cannabis.
I was a heroin addict for many, many years. Just taking the edge off keeps me off of going back.
Now a lot of athletes are consuming cannabis for their own health and well-being.
Important to note, the change would not legalize marijuana for recreational use. The DEA's proposal still has to be reviewed by the White House Office of Management and Budget. For the first time, Texas is set to host one of the presidential general election debates. Texas State University is hosting the first debate September 6th. The university holds the distinct honor of being the only university in Texas to graduate a U.S. President, Lyndon B. Johnson, in 1930, and the first in Texas to host a presidential debate. So Stay tuned. For today's forecast, Palmirales.
All right, this afternoon we'll have mostly cloudy skies, few thunderstorms. Some of those storms could be severe with large hail and isolated tornadoes, and I think that lingers into tonight.
Careful tonight. And that's KINS 5 News Now. I'm Sarah Forgani.